Mr. Demi,
Hello.
Isn't it amazing in 30 seconds what you can achieve?
It's amazing, mate. I hid from you twice.
I wasn't paying attention because I realized my AirPods weren't connected. So I had to connect my AirPods to my laptop. And then I forgot my lamppost, aka the drinking bottle. So I had to mad dash over to the kitchen and grab that. All in 30 seconds, mate. And you were just playing peekaboo.
Mate.
You were just playing peekaboo.
It's because you've been trading cryptos, mate, and your speed is improved.
This is true, mate.
Yeah, that's what it does. It trains you to move fast, act fast.
That's why I'm more on the investor side now, mate. Otherwise, I'm going to be like that picture I posted. I'm 25 years old and stressed out and look like a 74-year-old. Not the look that I'm going for. But welcome, everybody else. Great to have you with us. We're broadcasting live on YouTube. We're broadcasting live on Facebook. We're broadcasting live on a new sharing platform called Share Vision. Go and check the guys out. And we've got a few comments in the house as well. Kevin's in the house. Let's do this. Show me the money.
You know it's a bullish market when Kevin's saying, show me the money.
Multiple Y's. Yeah, we love you, Kev. We love you, Kev. But yeah, that's just, you're showing us your poker hand already.
Exactly.
Zach's in the house. Good to have you with us, Zach. Andy's here. And representing the YouTube crew, we've got Nick and we've got Slav as well. A big hello to the crypto world. So if you haven't already, please log into the StreamYard link and do us a favor so that you can show us your name and your face, just like Raj. Oh, just like Raj. There we go. Just like Gary. Perfect. We love seeing you guys here. Thanks for the little plug, Andy. He's here for the new product. All in good time. You should start receiving an email, actually, all our current crypto students, because you guys are a little bit ahead of the average bears. But we'll speak about that at the end because this show's for everyone at the beginning. And then we'll just speak about that quickly towards the end. So, Mr. Demi, another week done in crypto land. We haven't yet moved over to virtual reality. We are still here, although we're not in person. We are doing this over the internet. Internet 2.0, Internet 3.0 is coming to a location near you very, very shortly, if not already. Tell us from your point of view as a former hedge fund trader, a guy who was balls deep in fiat currency, making loads of trades, making loads of money, trading fiat. Was there ever a stage where you thought, I'm going to be trading pretty much cryptos and sacking off the FX stuff? Did you ever think that was coming when you were sat in the hedge funds?
Well, cryptos weren't even around. I wish I'd known about them earlier. But do you know what? I've been talking to a few people, and we're like, the thing with cryptos is that it's made all other investments feel like not good enough. That's the crazy thing. It's like you're talking to like a property guy, a real estate agent, and we're talking about, you can get 5-6% yield on this one. I'm thinking, I can get that in 5 minutes, man. It's like, why am I going to wait for a whole year? That's the thing. It's like, it's absolute madness. I mean, it's so rewarding. I mean, I like this. It really works with my personality. It's just like, you put the hard work in, you do the research, you find your project, you get in it, and the next day it's doubled or tripled, and you're like, it's just nuts. Of course we invest thinking, okay, good long-term project, but then it doubles and triples, and you're like, okay, where's it going by next week? And you get carried away. You can't help it. It's just one of those things. I mean, we're all human beings, and even myself, I'm not used to these types of returns. Like, this is not, well, I've got used to them now, but it's not normal, right? In FX, as you know, where you have a 5% up month, 10% up month, you're like, great, great, we're doing well. I mean, in cryptos, you'd think you're quite sad if you make 5-10% in a month. You're like,
that's a day.
It's a flat month. It's basically what No,
but it's still a green month. It's still a green month. And, you mentioned a really good point there. And guys, feel free to let us know what you're seeing in the world of cryptos, things that seem good, things that seem a little bit rubbish, a bit fugazi, and we can all have a chat about it. It's going to be a bit relaxed today, which is awesome. But one thing that you said, which is one of the reasons why Kryptos has got my vote and will continue to have my vote, is like you said, the old system, the old game. You can't change the rules when you're in the game, but you can actually change the game that you're playing. So if 5 or 6% returns aren't that good for you anymore, and let's face it, 5 or 6%, that's okay. In your bank account right now, I checked it, you're in the UK savings account, you'll get less than 1% return on your savings. If you're happy with that, playing that game, great. I know I'm preaching to the converted already here, but just as a collective, the thing I love is that this is changing the game. We don't have to settle for that anymore. And a lot of people don't like it, but that's their problem. If they want to stick to the old game, great. If we want to have other choices, and this is what I love, having a choice that previously wasn't there, I absolutely love it. And Zach's hit the nail on the head. Kryptos are the greatest get out of jail free card. Although, you know, maybe they might even pay you bail depending upon what malarkey you got up to the night before. But yeah, it's that's a nice way of putting it. Nick's more straight to the point. Screw the banks.
I like direct, Nick. That's great. That's the best way to be. Be direct.
Yeah, which is great. So having said all of that, give us your recap on the last week from a trader / former hedge fund guy's point of view. It's been an epic ride. If you've been in any cryptos that have been ripping the last few days, then you'll know what we mean. If you haven't, then great. There's still plenty of time. But just give us from your point of view, what have you seen that you like about the last 7 days, and maybe a few things that have caused a few red flags for you?
Yeah, I mean, when we last spoke and even the week before, you were asking me what Bitcoin looked like. Is it going to go up? And the thing that I said at the time, and I'm still seeing that now, is that what was really bullish about what we saw was, well, I think going back 2 weeks even, was when we had that breakout. I remember drawing this horizontal line of resistance, and I said, look, it's broken out, and it's just consolidating, which is really bullish. And I think it was last week when we looked at the market. What happened was the market broke up, and I was talking about the stochastic RSI going down to oversold whilst the price went sideways. And I was saying, this is very, very bullish. This is what you want to see. It's like the market's ran up, but it's not pulling back. It's consolidating, building up that energy. So the most probable scenario is that Bitcoin goes higher. Nothing has changed to change my opinion on that. I think it looks bullish. It still looks bullish. We've just broken to a new all-time high. There's a few, resistance points now where if you're using fibs and things like that, but we're now looking up at new resistance points. There's new places where Bitcoin hasn't been yet. Okay, it feels like it has been there because we've spoken about them for so long. The 100K milestone, the 250,000 milestone, all these kind of things. But yeah, I think the thing is like, if you are patient in this market and you do the right things and you don't over leverage yourself, I can't see how you're not going to make money from this. Like, the ways that you lose money is when you go over leveraged, you panic sell when the market goes down. Because look, we can't predict everything. We don't know what could get announced tomorrow, right? Something gets announced and suddenly, although the technicals look great, something gets announced, Bitcoin crashes, right? But if in 12 months it goes to 150, 200 grand, you just need to still be in it. It's really not that difficult. And I think that's really what you've got to be looking at. So look, the markets look strong. Ethereum looks strong. I think there's a lot of altcoins that have not yet fulfilled their potential. I think there's a lot of hidden gems that people don't realize what value they have. And, and so for me, it's about finding the balance between buying projects for the long term and really being okay with waiting for the next 2-3 years, right? Where let it come to fruition. It's like if you bought Amazon, right? When it first listed on, you wouldn't have made any kind of real money at the beginning until people realized its value, and then it exploded, and you become a multimillionaire from it, right? And some of these projects that I'm investing in, some of them are long-term plays, and I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to sit in this, even if they're not doing anything right now. But we are also, you have to think about, okay, you need to be in projects that are moving right now as well, right? So projects that have got momentum, that have got upside right now, so you're building your wealth up at the same time, and so it's just really finding that balancing out. But yeah, in general, I like the markets. I think they're great, and I think, you know, as I said, if you're going to use a little bit of leverage, trade one. But if you are going to use a little bit of leverage on your investments, make sure it's just a little bit, and prepare for the worst case scenario. Hey, what if Bitcoin drops 50-60%? Am I going to be okay? So with all of that in mind, I am positioned as I have been for the last sort of month or two for continued growth in the crypto space towards the end of the year. And I actually think we could carry on next year as well, up until the next 2, 3, 4 months. And if that is the case, you know, I think Bitcoin goes way over 100K. Like it really, I think there's a few different things that can happen to stall it. But for me, if I think we should be able to get to 100 before the end of the year. And then if we do carry on, I think then we could be looking at sort of 150, 180 Bitcoin, and even higher. You just don't know when it goes parabolic. So I'm extremely bullish at the moment.
And yeah, thanks for that. And it's really interesting, like you said, Bitcoin to 180 sounds a lot, but it's already over 60, guys. So that's a 3-to-1, which granted, most property investors would bite your hand off for, but we're crypto guys. So it isn't just about Bitcoin. So if you're new to the market, that's one of the things that we want to stress. Like, just start to consider other options. Yes, of course, no one's saying forget Bitcoin. I actually read or saw a really interesting fact. And guys, feel free to comment in the comment section. Before we go any further, we've got loads of live people on, but we've only got 1 like. Give us some love, people, please. Give us a thumbs up or a heart or something just for the Facebook algorithm. Come on, guys. It's hurting our feelings. Thank you. Back to where we were. So really interesting. Who got to 1 trillion in market value the quickest? Apple, Google, Amazon, or Bitcoin?
Tell me, I don't know.
You don't know, guys?
In terms of from a starting point, you mean?
Yeah, who got to 1 million market value?
I would think Bitcoin.
1 trillion. Anybody else care to have a guess? Andy's a bit on the fence. He wasn't sure. And to be fair, Bitcoin's with some tough competitors. Apple, worldwide institution. Google, I mean, they just take over everything. And Amazon. Like, who would have thought back in the day, like Amazon, you know, would you really trust an online platform to leave your credit card details? Look how far things have changed. People would have thought you were nuts at the time. Do you know what I mean?
But I think the thing with that, because I remember that thinking myself, it's just literally a lack of education and understanding. So that was the case for me. Like, I didn't realize the protections that you have, and then all the insurance and all the other stuff. So it's like, at first it's daunting. And then when you realize actually it's absolutely safe and it's the right thing to do, and it makes sense and it makes things quicker, and you can buy stuff from wherever you want and you can just get it delivered, don't have to leave your house. Once you realize all of that, then it's like, well, it's a no-brainer. Why would I not do that? Like, I hardly ever go to the shops to buy stuff. Like, that's the truth. I just order it. Amazon just is the go-to. Like, I don't really look elsewhere most of the time. So it's just so that's why I say some projects, Gavin, like, you don't realize what the future is going to be like. But once the mainstream realize it, you're in early. You've bought your Amazon early, and everybody else will start piling in, and suddenly it's expensive and you don't know whether, you know, so that's kind of the key. But I do think people need to have a balance, as I said before, because you're not going to sit in something not doing anything if you've got nothing else that is moving right now, the established products that everybody knows. So everyone knows Bitcoin, everyone knows Ethereum, but they're not going to 100x for you.
Exactly that. So yeah, we got a few answers in saying Bitcoin. That is the correct answer. Andy will donate a third of a Bitcoin.
We've already discussed this, man. We discussed it before, and now he's trying to change it. Gavin was very, very happy to donate all of his Bitcoin, which he doesn't have any. All of his.
So you can have it. Oh no! Bitcoin. We said Bitcoin because I put my money to work.
The best comment of the day will get Gavin's Kryptos.
No chance. Been waiting ages for KDA and Flux to do their thing, and then now you want to take it away from me? No way, sweetheart. No way. Anyway, so we digress. So look, whether you're making money, whether you're still confused about altcoins and L1s and L2s, now Facebook have changed their name to Meta. Now there's the metaverse. Now there's gaming to navigate along with NFTs and all of this stuff. And now you've got ecosystems and you're trying to work out if there's going to be a dip, if there's going to be a pullback. Our dark sides are kind of going, oh, I hope there's a crash because we can get in and then ride it back up again. But actually, I was thinking about this earlier on. If we don't have a crash, and like you said, your hypothesis earlier was that we just end up going through for the next 4 or 5 months into 2022, and then that takes us into that summer months with Ethereum 2.0 and a few other things, that would actually be really, really good for the crypto market in general. Just putting our selfish motives aside, wouldn't that be great? Because it means that things keep going up and more people are not going to get scared. More new entrants are just going to come in, and it's just going to grow the market value even more. Surely, I can't see a downside to that. Can you?
No, and the thing is, the thing to realize is actually that the more important thing, if you want to maximize your gains, it's about understanding when to take some profits when something goes parabolic. Because at the end of the day, it's about how much money you have from the move that happens, right? So, yes. In theory, is it better to buy cheaper? Yes. But if you've got more money because you've been in the markets and the markets have gone up and you come out and then the market pulls back and you're buying Bitcoin at 100,000, well, the thing is now you've got 500,000, whereas before maybe you only had 100,000 to invest. So you could have bought 2 Bitcoins at 50 grand, or now you can buy 5 Bitcoins at 100 grand. Actually, you're better off. So the price really doesn't matter. And I agree with you. Yeah, for the space, it's great. It gets more headlines. But the reality is, it's just knowing what to do. Like, as the market goes up, and it's just knowing if you should be taking some profit or how you should be managing your portfolio is the more important thing. In essence, it doesn't matter to us what the market does. It goes down or goes up. If it goes down, it gives us opportunity. If it goes up, we make more money. And that's all you've got to think about. It's a win-win either way, as long as you are not over leveraged. As I keep saying, if you want to use leverage, trade. Trade it, make money. I've seen like people posting on here and in our group. They're trading using leverage. Buy, get out, get $1,000, get $2,000, take that money out, put it into spot. That is literally when I'm trading. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, I'll put $5,000 in, I'll grow it to 15, take 10 out, put it back into the spot, and then grow my 5 to 15, put 10 grand out and put it into spot. And that's what I do. That's what I'm thinking. And really just keeps it really simple. Then all your money is invested and growing passively for you. And there's so many cool things we can do. I've shown you, Gav, like so many cool things you can do. You never have to touch your assets. And there's some clever ways as well. You can legally not pay tax as well. So it's just so powerful, the possibilities of what you can do with if you do things the right way.
Said with a very cheeky glint in his eye. I look forward to hearing more about that. So guys, let us know, what is it that stresses you out the most about cryptos? Whether it's not getting involved, not knowing where to start, not knowing where to take your profits, whatever it may be. Zach saying that FOMO and FUD make the market interesting. Just don't be a victim of both. Because what will be interesting from your point of view, obviously you've had years of honing in these skills. for this moment in time, right? It's like, you know, you went back in the future and you were like, right, I'm going to get prepared for 2020, 2021 and the cryptos and all of this revolution, this digital revolution. But what are some of the things, regardless of what people are struggling with and getting stressed out about, what are some of the things that they can incorporate apart from leverage? Obviously, that's the big one. We keep saying that. Don't be greedy, guys. Don't be greedy. And if you are going to use leverage, know how to use it properly. But are there any other kind of tips and tricks that you've picked up from the hedge fund floors? And obviously being like this Tony Robbins of trading and investing to kind of pass on to all of us guys?
Do you know what? Like, there's this kind of tactical things, of course, and that's part of what I do. I'm always trying to find the best way to make the most whilst keeping risk at a minimum. I think that's important. So whether that's like, you know, finding ways to earn interest off your coins, or like you said, using leverage or using trading to increase your pot and so on. So there's the tactical element, but I think the biggest thing is emotional intelligence. I think like having control of your emotions is the biggest factor. So you have to build the game plan, you know, and that kind of does bring me back to, you know, when I was trading and managing large sums of money, way bigger than what I'm doing now, like, because obviously I was trading for institutions. The biggest thing is emotional intelligence, like being able to control yourself, building the right picture for you to be able to take the right action. So it's like, what happens when you're over leveraged, right? Every setback is now going to kind of almost shrink your brain. Like your brain starts to not be able to think anymore. Like, and so you need to be emotionally intelligent. Like, let me not set myself up like that. Okay, I'm going to grow this and I'm going to make plenty of money the right way. So if I need a bit more, I'm going to spend some time on the screen and trade it and get some money out of this market and then go put it into the investment world. And, you know, and that's where you use the power of leverage. And then I'm going to say, well, how can I make my coins work the most? Should I use this or this or this? Like, and the other thing is, where is the best place for my money to go right now to make me the most? Now, you actually asked the question to the group, but if I'm honest, like I couldn't even answer that question for me. You know, what, I don't know how you phrased it, but like, what worries you the most about cryptos? I can't remember how you phrased it, but the thing for me, what frustrates me the most, I think is what you said, right? Is that what you said?
If you were paying attention, you know, mate.
Yeah, but if you don't remember, then I'm not supposed to be remembering.
If anybody else was paying attention, please let us know.
Pay attention to yourself, mate.
It was about stress and being stressed out in the markets. What causes stress? Yeah.
Okay, so
phew, I remembered.
The thing is that it's like, for me, I'm a bit active and I want to be moving things around to where I think my money's going to work hardest. And sometimes, a lot of the time I get it right, if I'm being honest. Like, and sometimes I'll be like, oh, that one's gone a bit more than what I thought and I could have put it there. And that's kind of probably the most frustrating thing. But like, you've just done you've invested in something, but you've gone in with a modest amount, thinking, okay, I'll build up a position in that one. And then suddenly it's just done a quick 2-3x. And you're like, that's frustrating because you've made money, but actually it's very easy to think negatively about that experience. So you have to quickly catch yourself and say, hold on a minute. Would I rather this slump down? Like, it's gone up 2-2x in 2-3 days. Why am I upset? And then you're like, okay, that's fine. And then you look at the chart and you think, okay, I'm going to add a little bit more anyway because it looks like it's going to go higher. And then you just still build up your position. But I think that for me is probably something that other people probably find quite frustrating. Like when you're looking at coins, because I tend to have things on my radar and then I will sometimes not invest immediately. That I'll be like, okay, I'm going to come back to that one because I like it. It's a good project. And then you like look at your trading views and you're like, oh, it's done 50% today. So I'm not in that one. So every now and again we miss it. But then you look at your portfolio and you're like, but my portfolio's killing it. So what's there to complain about? You can't be in everything. So, but I guess people will probably find that frustrating if they're like me, and I'm like most people, I guess.
So just to be clear, Andy has got first world problems. The coins that he's investing in are only going up by 2 or 3x, whereas other ones he was looking at have gone up by 20 or 40x. First world problems.
First world problems. Hashtag.
Demi problems. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to hear that, mate. No, but it's true. Someone was saying the other day, it was really interesting. If you've made 3x, you're really happy, right? But if it makes 10x and then it retraces down to 5x, you're really negged out by it, right? It's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, and look, it's also to do with a like for like, right? So you've got to think of it like as when you're investing in smaller coins, you accept the potential growth and you accept that they're riskier assets. So you're looking for the potential growth, knowing that they're not established like Bitcoin or Ethereum. So it's different if you're like, oh, I've put my money in Bitcoin versus something else. Well, you've done that because Bitcoin is lower risk, right? So that's why you're doing that. So I think it's like a case of when you could have put money into something and you put it into something else, and that something else has not done as much as the other one, you're saying, oh, I made the wrong decision. So I thought this one would go more, but actually this one went more. Because you're always allocating, right? So I try and keep it asymmetric, but there's no doubt I put more into coins that either I think are going to go right now, or are more established, or just for different reasons I think they're a better investment. And then I'll put smaller amounts on other projects that I think they sound good, but I'm not sure about them yet. So I'm not going to go all in. So I might be like putting 10 grand in one project, $1,000 in another one. And then thinking, okay, I'll put $1,000 in, but I might come back to that and see if I can add a bit more if I like it. And I'll go back to, because there's only so much you can do, right? Like I do a lot of research, and you have to focus sometimes, make sure you're doing the right things in what you're doing, and then you can come back to projects and revisit them and put a bit more in.
Amen to that. So look, that was just an area that I wanted to touch on. Hopefully it's helped you guys as well. And obviously we've just all got together and had a bit of a chinwag over some crypto talk. So I think it's time to jump into the live charts. Now, as much as he doesn't want to do this, I've even got friends that I know, they're like serious fundamental heads. They've traded, they've done all this. And then one of them, he was like, I did it. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, I got into sheep. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, I've taken my profits out. It's all free. It's all on the house now. And now they're getting into more, actually NFTs. So they're getting into NFTs, but it's really, really interesting. We've had a few comments and questions, and obviously the newer guys in here, they would have made money. We've got some guys who are established and experienced. They've also made money, which is great. Let's jump in and do I know you don't like it, but let's do a quick update on the sheep. Even though you're a cat guy, you don't like dogs, let's jump in and do the sheep. And then we can
my cat in the door.
Do it.
See what you're making me do.
Do it. And then we'll jump into something a bit more established and sophisticated.
Exactly.
For the traditionalist.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I'm sure like probably everybody listening has probably got some of this dog coin.
Thought you were going to say something else then.
Each to their own, but I as we said, like for what it's worth, it has obviously exploded higher, and and we can definitely have a look at it, and I can give you my technical view on it, because at the end of the day, like this is not the only one. It just happens to be that this is not a scam, but we all heard about the Squid Game, where quite a lot of people put in money and then it went to zero because it was just a scam. At least it's not a scam, but yeah, it is what it is. So, do you own any, by the way?
No. I was looking at it. Before it did that big. I was looking at it around 3, and then I was just like,
do you regret not getting any?
No,
I don't regret it.
Because it's about, so for me, it's about projects that I believe in and that I'm willing to take the ride with, whether they go up or down, if I want to hold them a bit longer. Yeah, I don't regret it, but obviously there's a part of you that looks, and then you're like, well, I could see that happening. Why didn't I just put a bit of money on it just because? But it's enough for me sometimes to see what's going on. And I'm still in my first year in cryptos. Obviously, you've taught me a lot with regards to trading FX, and I've been able to transfer it over to the cryptos. And now obviously stepping up my game on the investor side, and all of the fun stuff that you're talking about with that is what excites me and my personality. So that's the long-winded answer to that question.
Okay, so let's because we're sort of in uncharted territory. You can see the market has gone to its overextension. So when we look, these are the Fibonacci's. We spoke about them yesterday in the Pip show. But the way this works is the market, traditionally it goes from an A, B, C, it goes back to the red zone, and if it was a normal market and that wasn't parabolic, it goes to the red zone and then pulls back. Sometimes when the market's parabolic, you have just basically crazy demand, from people that don't want to miss out. It can go to this or this overextension. You can see here, essentially the market has gone to its extreme overextension, which is the 261A. So this one is a 200 fib. This is the 261A. And you can see it's pretty much stopped right there. So now what we do is we will take, that's the high, and we will go down to here. And this is showing us where the potential is for this to go. So what has happened? Well, the market has gone from an A to its B. It has pulled back to its 618 perfectly right there. Mm-hmm. And so far, that's the low that we've got. And so if that remains the low, then basically this here becomes a buy. And then we would expect that this market will then go to its 1618, which would be here. So right here. So that's kind of really, now remember, the initial thing is it makes sense why it was parabolic, fear of missing out, mm-hmm. Everybody jumping in, everybody asking about it. Once it's kind of done that, you'd expect the second swing to just do a normal move up. So that gives us this as a target, guys, which is about 1275.3, obviously with the zeros there, which looks like approximately about a 2.5.
Yeah, which is what it did on the first move up, on the first wave up, right? That parabolic move was about 2.5, 3. So
yeah, so whatever you've invested in it, if that kind of comes into play, your account, if that kind of plans out, so it does do this, then you're looking at basically, if your current portfolio is 1,000, it should turn into 2.5 just by keeping it into spot positions. And of course, like, you can also trade this, and for those that know how to trade, that have maybe done our crypto trading course, in that case, you could potentially make more from this, right? By using leverage, by using stops. So like this is the 50 EMA, for example, if you place the stop behind that, or, behind the A. So this is the A. So if you place the stop behind the A, then you're basically risking that much. You could potentially make a little bit more, but that's kind of, in a nutshell, what I see for Shiba. Now you could, like I said, you can go into the 4-hour time frames. You can try and, you could do a breakout. Let's have a little look and see what it looks like. Hold on. Good.
I mean, look, in no uncertain terms, a 2.5x return on your investment, regardless of the coin. That's a great return. And obviously we do kind of have a bit of a laugh at Sheep's expense, but at the end of the day, if you're here because you want to trade or invest in Sheep, then best of luck to you guys. And if you're making money off it, then that's definitely one of the major goals, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, that is the goal. So it doesn't really matter, how you do it, in many respects. But yeah, from an investment point of view, I don't see why I would buy it. But from a trading point of view, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you can see here, guys, you can see that this market is basically channeling, and we're actually at a really key point. So if you have a look here on the 4-hour chart, we've got this really nice moving average that has acted as, like, if you kind of focus your attention on the red one here, the market has held really nicely at support. And since then, it's kind of gone below that moving average, and it's finding resistance basically on the 50 moving average, the red one, and this channel line. What you want to see is a break. So if you can break through here, then that could be your that could be your entry. So and if you want to go with a really tight stop, you could go with a stop there. Okay, so for those that are a bit more aggressive, that's the way you could do it. The other confirmation you could do is you can wait for this MACD line to go back above the 0 line. So if you have a look, the last, I mean, you can't even see below, but the last time we kind of went above the 0 line, the market has basically done that. And since here, the market's been below the 0 line, but it looks like we're getting close to go back above it. So if that's the case, if you get a nice push up, you could definitely buy that. And the 4-hour target, if you want to go for a smaller target, let me just see, it comes in around here. So here would be your target. So a little bit less, but you're actually going to make more money because you're going to have a tighter stop. So that could be your target there, about 9821, with an entry about here. So you're looking to make, I'm just doing rough numbers, about 3,000, but with a maybe 700-800 stop. So yeah, you could probably make that a 5 or 6 to 1 trade. So two kind of options there: the longer term investment option or swing trading option, and then this one with a more aggressive stop. And if the whole market goes up, then likelihood is everything's going to kind of follow through with it.
Awesome. Good stuff, mate. So before we jump into Bitcoin, Zach saying Darth Demi and Grand Moff Orlando's epic complaints over missing money whilst making a killing. Stay tuned for next week's First World Problems. Something like that, mate. Something like that. And just want to shout out to Nick. Crazy returns. He got a nice 1 to 4 trade on Bitcoin today, banked $1,000 with only 1% risk. That is what we are talking about, my friend. And it leads us very nicely on to our next segment, which is our Bitcoin price prediction with former hedge fund trader, Mr. Andy Demi. What is going to happen between the next 7 hours and 7 days on the beloved BTC? Share your wealth and drop your knowledge bombs, please, sir.
Okay, so let's clean this up and start from a clean slate. We'll keep it strong because they're quite useful. So we've kind of spoken about this before. But I'm going to mention it again, that the significance of the 50 moving average in particular, and the 200, the fact that we're above both, the fact that we've crossed above is bullish. You can see the last time we did that, the market had a really, really strong move. This is kind of when it happened. And this has happened here. So, I'm not saying history is going to repeat, but the last cross, I mean, in fact, you can go back a little bit further. Yeah, it happened here, didn't it? That was the last time we crossed. The last time we crossed created a move that big. So, and we're kind of in that stage now where we've had that cross. Is history going to repeat? Well, we don't know, but it's always a good idea to just see where that would take us. See if there's any kind of confluence. And look at that; it's about 95,000, which is quite interesting. Considering how much we're speaking about 100,000, and you can kind of see. I mean, look, it wasn't completely clean, right? Like when you look at this, you can see that during this period, I mean, you have these setbacks, right? So you have these big pullbacks, and when you've bought here, this can really seem brutal, but actually, in essence, that's what it's done. And what we're currently doing is like we're doing this. So, it could be a case of, again, we go up, and then we have a big down, and we go up, and then we have a big down, and we go up, and so on, right? So that's possible, or it does it differently. It goes parabolic, and then we have a big correction, right? That's also possible. So, I guess firstly, I'm highlighting all of this really to just give you guys a good expectation that nothing goes up in a straight line. But now, having done that, I want to look at, where this can go and what it looks like, by doing some technical analysis, which is what we're best at. So let's take this away for a second, and let me just check something out here. It might be quite interesting. One sec. Just going to check something that I just thought of doing. Kind of like that. Just want to see how that kind of, if I get rid of this for a sec, kind of gives me a good idea of how Bitcoin rallied last time. And I know where, that kind of, because sometimes history repeats, right? And like, I'm just going to use that and see, how does it look there? That's quite interesting, right? See how we did that? And I guess, like, to keep things into perspective, after what I just showed you, that the market does pull back, right? I think it's a good idea to just be aware of this line here. So you can watch this back to see how we did it, but also that there, because that looks like now it looks like if this carries on up, right, where does that take us to? So I'm just going to play this out like as if it's just going to go up from here. Let's see what level does that take us to. So if it just goes up and of course, by the way, I'll give you one more thing here. It can also give you the sign that this is going parabolic if we break this. So what can happen when it goes, when there's just like no sense anymore, right? Everybody's just piling in not to miss out. What will happen is you'll break this and then you'll act as support. And now it's parabolic, and these moves can be extremely fast. And that's where you really want to kind of maybe even use your trading skills and really use leverage to just take advantage of these crazy moves. So just putting that out there. Now that we've got this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot my fibs, and I want to see, hopefully I can do it with my indicator. Start from this point here, which is about 1435. Let's amend this to about 1435 and see where we are relative to all of that, and see if we can make some sense of it. So this is a daily chart Okay. This is extremely bullish. So here's what's happened. So I'll explain what the fibs are basically telling us. Not my opinion, just what the fibs are telling us. So we have this A, B, C. Now, 9 times out of 10, this market pulls back here. It doesn't in this case. What happens? We go up into what's called our fade zone. This here becomes a great short area, right? It's the 144 fade. So what normally happens, okay, it's gone up too fast. It's going to come back down. So the normal thing to do is we eventually come back down. We hit this channel support, hit the 38, and then we just start to, accumulate again. But that scenario hasn't played out. What's happened is we've gone up fast and then we've held. Okay, bullish price action. And then we've just closed above here. Now we've reached the 1618, which is a natural kind of resistance. But if this is going to do the normal thing that the fibs do, it will probably now rally fast up to here. This 200 here becomes a target. And that could be a spike into this channel line, guys, or it could do it like that. Now, let me give you that level. That level is there. So I'm going to take away this right now. It's about 76,173.
About.
I like that. I think that's a good target to aim for the next 7 days. 76,173 approximately. If I go to the 4-hour chart, let's figure out what. Did you say something, Gav?
No, I just said, you said it's about, and then you reeled off a very specific number. Okay. 73, 1, whatever it was. So that's a really good number. So pay attention.
Okay, so now let's have a look at what the 4-hour chart is saying to us. Now, the 4-hour chart, if we just double check that we've got the correct swings, we've started from the right place. It looks like we have. Yep. Okay, all good. So we have our A, B, D, A, B, C. Okay. I may need to do this one manually. Have we got time? How long have we got? Okay.
Got about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'd like to do it. I just want to make sure we've got the right numbers. Okay. Speedy Gonzalez way, ABC. So I'm not going to be explaining everything. I'm just going to do it. Just so we can get it done super fast. So I'm doing it. We've got a D there, overextension. Let me do it for this one. Okay, perfect. What's the deepest pullback? Approximately the orange. So, but you could definitely look at the red as well. So that the 4-hour chart for me gives us a target of roughly there. So let me just put a block in on sex and then we'll see what that looks like. So this block here would be the target according to the 4-hour chart. So, about there. So that gives us approximately 75,761 would be the upper target on the 4-hour time frame. And what did we say the daily was? So that one is 75.7. So that's really not too different, is it? It's there. I mean, the difference is basically nothing. So that could be a spike. So we put 76,173. That's the target on the daily. That's the target on the 4-hour. Lots of confluence there. So we have the overextension on the daily, we have the channel line resistance, and then the thing to look out for, guys, is does this close above the channel or does this spike? In which case, then we may get either a pullback or a consolidation. So it could either do this and then take off again, or it could actually just do a proper retracement back down to the bottom of the channel. If you understood any of that, it's extremely powerful and you should be able to make some good money from that. But yeah, that completes my analysis, I guess, unless anyone's got any questions.
Gary saying, it's good when Andy leans into his charts. Very good observation. Kevin saying, why would you not draw a new fib with point A on the 12th of October and point B at the 20th of October? Not sure if we're going to have time to go into that, but can you see the reference point that he's making? Well,
we use specific rules for our fibs. So I don't know, is it one of the students who's asking?
Yeah, Kevin.
Yeah, so on the 4-hour time frame is he referring to?
Doesn't say.
I think it could be on the daily. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, by all means, double check it, Kevin. But I've obviously done that quite quick. So I may have, but as long as you are using the rules that we've taught you and the game has to complete. I also did make a slight adjustment because of what I observed, which is hard to explain. But because the indicator would pick it up, as in if the market does a 23.6, this is only for people that understand this, so this is going to confuse beginners. If the market does a 23.6 pullback and then goes to the 1618 and does a 2 to the left, 2 to the right, the indicator will class that as the D. I've done it slightly different. I've done the overextension as the D because I've noticed that that's what, as with Bitcoin and crypto, remember I built my indicators for FX. These moves don't tend to happen in FX like this. So I just noticed that all of them were overextension. So instead of using the D as the 1618, I've used the 200 basically because I've noticed that that's where they're going. So that's why it might be slightly different. So if that makes any sense to you, then you'll know why I've maybe done it slightly different. But you can do it the normal way as well, and see what D gives you, because that will still be relevant. But yeah, it's just sometimes if I see an observation like that, and crypto is slightly different to FX. So on the smaller time frames, you can make that little adjustment.
Cool. He's going to say no. He's saying no worries. He'll post it on the elite group, but hopefully that has answered his question and he's been able to.
Yeah, post it on there and show me exactly, and I'll have a look.
Cool. And Katarina's in the house. Hey guys, just joined. Andy, did you look at Mana at all? Not today. We did the SHIB and we did Bitcoin, but Mana, with all its topic or topicality at the moment, it could be something that's coming to a chart near you very soon. If you're new, go on, mate.
No, I was going to say, it's a bullish market if Katarina's back in the house.
She's busy, mate.
I've seen it during the bear markets. She's been in isolation.
She knows what she wants, which is cool.
She can sense it. It's back.
Exactly. So, guys, if you're new to cryptos and maybe the last 5 minutes or so didn't really make sense, you may want to jump off now because we're not going to give you any more brand new information. For the guys that already are students, you may want to stick around for a couple of minutes because we are doing a little private event. So it's just for students. You'll be getting emails. If you haven't already got an email and an invitation to the event, it's this Thursday evening, 8 p.m. UK time. So guys overseas, including myself, will need to check our local time listings for that. But it's going to be early morning for us guys over here in Oz. We've got an exclusive pre-event just for our current students. Andy, do you want to say a little bit about what's coming up on Thursday?
Yeah, so as we've mentioned, we've been working on creating something to help people with the research side to know where to put their money and how to make the most of it on the investment side. So we want to speak a little bit more about that, what people could be doing. And, I guess, whether you want to sort of take it to that next level, I think there's going to be a tremendous amount of value and really kind of, you and I really going through where we feel right now is what people should be doing. And I'm really excited, mate. I mean, I've worked very, very hard to create something that I think is going to help people that don't have a lot of time, that, maybe don't have the resources that I did to do the research that I find. I mean, I hunt investments and I do not stop until I find the best place to put your money. And that's really, it's a buzz for me. And I've been sharing it with my private clients. And we're gonna sort of open the door up to a few more people on Thursday to be able to take part in, so they can also benefit from part of what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds great. And just to clarify, it's not, so for the one-on-one students, they're getting Andy's personal time, direct access to the bat phone. That's not going to change, but this is like a hybrid product that's going to be one-to-many for the guys that want to take it to the next level. And you really want to compound your gains, or you either want to take your trade. So like what Nick, one of our students, said today, he got $1,000 out of Bitcoin. Then what would you do with that next? Are you going to trade that, or are you going to put it into spot? Or you're going to do a hybrid, and then you're going to put it into a coin that's going to give you some compound interest. So we're taking this to the next level where, because I know personally as well, like when I first started trading cryptos, my first trade was on Sandbox. Had I have kept that in there instead of just doing a short-term trade, yes, you get the money, but now we're looking at things on a longer-term wealth building point of view, and how you can stake and how you can stack and how you can get lots of interesting ninja interest techniques that Andy's been researching, because you go really deep into this world, mate, don't you? So it's what you love to do. And
I love it, mate.
Like Nick saying, piggyback on Andy, Zach saying, I'm signing up. Andy saying, tell me, is that the new product? Yes, it's the crypto investor product. So crypto like a pro, investing. There's one for the trading guys, but we know that there's a massive, massive appetite, and it's going to actually help a lot of people make some decent money. Not a financial promise, do your own research, but that's kind of taken care of as well with the research side. So
yeah, I mean, look,
8 p.m. guys, 8 p.m. on Thursday. Before, I'm just going to say that 8 p.m. on Thursday. If you haven't had an email invitation, check out your emails from today, because it should be coming to you from today, if not by tomorrow at the latest. And that's it from me. Andy, you take out the show with whatever you want to say.
Yeah. And look, it's about, you have to try and balance it out, and that's what we're going to do. So you have to invest in things that are moving, because you need to be making money now. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm investing in things that are moving and things that I think are going to grow. But there are some projects that are going to be longer term, but there is signs of, one of the key metrics that I look for is, are people using this? Is it got usability in the real world, that now and in the future? And if people are using it and the growth is going up, but the price is not reflecting that, that's one of the key criteria that I'm looking for. The other thing is that it's really important that you get a layman's term understanding of what you're investing in. Because I think sometimes, even myself, like I need to read through a white paper 3 times to get what the hell they're doing, right? But I think people need to see a simple understanding of, right, what is this project? Why is it going to be useful? Why is it good? What purpose has it got? What's its market? And what's the growth potential? Where could it go? And I'm looking for projects that are solid, but also have the potential to 100x over the next 2-3 years, right? So that once they become mainstream and we start using them every day, those are the kind of projects. But you have to find a balance, and the whole idea is, I do the research anyway, and we want to help more people. And we want to make it really simple for people. So I still believe in crypto trading. I still believe that you should be doing some of that, but there's some people that just don't have the time, and people like yourself, Gav, who just maybe are not suited to it, right? You're a better investor than a trader, for example, maybe, or you don't want to give up your time. I love trading. I still trade. But the great thing about the investment side is that you're earning whilst doing nothing, passive, holding great assets, earning interest on them, letting them grow. And there's so many cool things you can do. I can't even, we'll talk more about that on Thursday. But I'm really excited, mate. I've been working very hard to get this ready for people, and hopefully it's going to, over deliver.
Exactly that. So that's enough of a prelude to the event on Thursday for current crypto students, because they've already got a background in this. They'll be able to pick it up quicker. The way that the market is at the moment, we want to bring that out to you. But if you are still watching and you're a newbie to cryptos, you have not missed the boat. We're going to have something for you as well coming up in a few weeks' time. So just watch this space. Be patient with us. But yeah, this is the way that we're going to do it. And we know that the guys that have already got a background, they've got training in cryptos, they'll be able to just implement straight away and start making the Moulin Rouge, as they say. So guys, Thursday night, 8 p.m. UK time, we will see you there. Katarina's still around. It's definitely a bullish market.
Definitely green.
Nailed it, mate. Nailed it.
Definitely. The MACD has crossed above the signal line.
Exactly that. So look, guys, we'll see you there. Look out for your emails. If you don't get an email, just let us know in the Elite Crypto Traders Club. Just let us know. One of the guys will pick that up there, but you should get an email. You need to register for the event. Invitation only. If you don't have an invite, you're not coming in. Sorry. See you on Thursday night, 8 p.m. Cheers, guys.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.